Hi, my name is Corey Hunter, and I'll be giving a presentation on how to use visualization in determining hypotheses. We'll start with a simple agenda. First, we'll discuss using visualization to test for a mean. Then, we're going to go into discussing using visualization to compare two groups. Next, we'll just discuss using visualization in an efficiency comparison. Then we'll talk about using visualization in correlation testing. I'll highlight a few important takeaways, and then we'll go into some questions. In this slide, we're discussing using visualization to test for a mean. And here it's important to note that the distribution of the data shows itself in this plot as a bell curve, which is literally a curve shaped like a bell. It has a high point, which is symmetric around its mean, and as we move away from the mean, from the center axis of the curve, it actually tapers down to 0. So this we refer to as a bell curve. So in this example, we're given a research question stating, on average, are the widgets from Acme Widget Company defect-free? So we presented a null hypothesis stating there are no defect-free widgets. So the average defect-free widgets equals 0. And our alternative hypothesis states there are defective-free widgets. So we have the average defective-free widgets not equal to 0. For our next example, we'll be comparing two groups. So in this example, we're looking at a curve, or two curves. On the x-axis, we're looking at the fraction of a team that are home run hitters versus the number of home runs. And the red bell curve represents the minor league, and the blue bell curve represents the major league. Now, visually looking at these two curves and comparing them, we can tell that the average of the blue curve is higher than the average of the red curve, simply because of how it presents itself on the curve. So let's look at the research question that we're trying to test. Does the average major league team have more home run hitters than its corresponding minor league team? So our null hypothesis states major league hitters more than minor league hitters. So we have average major league hitters greater than the average minor league hitters. Our alternative hypothesis then states major league hitters not more than minor league hitters. So once we look at the data, we can see more than likely we would reject the null hypothesis, just visually looking at these two curves. Next, we'll be looking at efficiency comparison. So our research question in this example is, the efficiency curves of the red and blue teams were recorded. Do the teams have equal mean efficiencies? Our null hypothesis states the mean efficiency of red team is equal to blue team. So alternatively, the alternative hypothesis states the efficiency of the red team is not equal to the blue team. And as you can see, we have two bell curves represented here. Again, one for the red team and one for the blue team. When it comes to correlation testing, As you can see, the data is not represented as a bell curve, but as a plot, and it's plotted miles per gallon versus weight. So the study states, a German study tested how larger industrial use vans utilize gasoline. One of their analysis plotted mile per gallon versus the weight of the various vans in the study. After plotting the data on a scatter plot, the researchers performed a correlation test and found a significant correlation. So looking at the plot, you can see based on where the data falls and the plot line, there's definitely some correlation. You can see that they all follow the line, has an even amount of plots of data points above and below the line. So it's a reasonable estimate of the gradient of the line, and it does indicate that there is some correlation. However, they forgot to state their hypothesis test in their published paper. So the question here is, what were the study's null and alternative hypotheses? So, looking at this, we can tell the null hypothesis would state there is no correlation between miles per gallon and weight. So alternatively, the alternative hypothesis would state there is a correlation between miles per gallon and weight. After reviewing those plots, a few important takeaways when creating hypothesis tests. It's clear that a null and alternative hypothesis statements are required, and research questions can help determine the null and alternative hypothesis. When using visualization, the data curve or plot can help identify a possible hypothesis test, and bell-shaped curves are symmetric about the highest point, which is its mean. Well, thank you guys for watching, and if there are any questions, you can drop your questions below. Thanks.